People helping people. And in this case, it's a family that's now estranged because this mixer set a boundary with their brother and their sister-in-law. And they're basically asking, are they wrong for what they said? Here's the full message. Am I wrong? That's what it says.
Am I wrong for thinking that? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Nico and Vince. Good
Nico
song.
and Vince, yeah.
Am I wrong for telling my brother he needs new childcare now that they're having a second baby? I've helped with my nephew for the last year for free, and their second boy is due in July. I can't take on 2 kids. I told them, and now they're not speaking to me. All right, mixers.
Yay, family dynamics.
What do you think?
Yay, family. Yay, family.
I mean, the baby's coming around the corner. Maybe they're not talking to you because they're busy trying to find daycare. So maybe there's that. I don't know the extent of knowing how much you've been iced out, but you needed to speak up. 2 kids is a lot different than 1. A newborn baby is a lot different than having an already, I don't know the age of the other child of the nephew.
That reminds me, like when my wife Jess and I had our son Bones, Noah, it was like, oh, look, we can still do the things we did when we were kidless. Yeah, we'll take him to restaurants, blah, blah. And then we have our middle daughter, Lexi. Okay, you got 1, I got 1. It's a little bit tougher, it's fine. And then we had the 3rd one. And then forget it. Because when you're outnumbered, forget it. And now that's what it's going to sound like here. If you have 2, holy cow. If the mixer's going to have to watch the kids. Well,
look, mixer.
And you can tell that's why these 2, the relatives are like, no, we're not talking to you. What?
Yeah, but if they were to think, oh yeah, we'll just have a second kid and
we got a built-in babysitter.
Sister will watch the kids, which is the aunt of the kids.
Built-in babysitter.
That's a lot. I mean, when my sister Gretchen had my nephew Brett, who is now 17 years old, my hours in the morning show worked out in such a way that a couple days a week I was able to take Brett in the afternoon. And I absolutely loved that time.
And that's
but we
great.
Set up at the beginning what the timeline was. Because I didn't want to feel like I was being taken advantage of. She did not want to take advantage and never did. But we were very clear that it was just, to try to get some things situated. He was still really young. So we didn't want to necessarily have to put him in daycare yet. And so I watched him. And man, I remember I bawled like a baby when I had to hand him over after those 4 months. Because I loved that time with him.
What do you mean we're done?
It was great. I loved those days and I enjoyed that. But it was different when I knew there was an end date to it. So even if there were moments of, okay, this is kind of a lot, I'm taking this on, I'm helping her out, there was an end date. And that's maybe where, mixer, if you want to try to work through things with your brother, maybe there is a compromise of saying, well, I'll help you out for a certain amount of time, but you really need to try to find out other care because you can't just take that on. And taking that on, that's a lot.
First of all, they're not talking.
That's not your responsibility.
First of all, they're not talking. We need to get past that
send a message. Reach out.
Because they kind of iced out. Are they going to answer the text? First, you got to break that barrier and then discuss this childcare situation. Because you can't just all of a sudden say, hey, the childcare thing. I think you need to stop this. All right, you're going to ice me out. You're not going to talk to me. Let's break that up first and then move on to this childcare thing or watching the kids thing.
Try to get through to them first with something else.
Exactly. The roundabout way. Hey, I made homemade pizza. I don't know. Got one for you. I know how crazy it is with a kid. I don't know.
So someone listening to this right now has been in a situation where you had family watching your kids. How did you work through that dynamic? Was there a timeline set? Was there payment? I can remember friends of mine being adamant that they did not want their in-laws to watch the babies because they thought, how then can we ask the in-laws to watch over the weekend or overnight if they're already watching Monday through Friday? I mean, everyone has their own views of who they want to watch their kids, and these are tough decisions to be made. But to take advantage of a family member, that's not okay.
That's tough. Yeah.
That is. But and then to not talk to your sister after she's been watching your son for the last year?
No, you got to break that up.
I feel for you, Mixer, that you're dealing with that too, because it's like, well, okay, so what am I? Just a babysitter? I'm not also a sister, a sister-in-law, an aunt.
That's why we have to get that broken up first and then discuss what's going on with
So
An extra kid.
What have you been through when you've had family members
Yeah.
watch your kids for a long period of time? 414-432-1099. It's Text Roulette. Get in on the conversation, or you can text in to the Siding Unlimited text line. And we want to know what you've done in that case to help this mixer out. We're going to get to some of these texts and these calls coming up. Debbie joining the text roulette. It's the mix. Elizabeth and Radar. The mixer said, "Am I wrong for telling my brother he needs new childcare now that they're having a second baby? I've helped with my nephew for the last year, and their second boy is due in July. I can't take on two kids. I told them, and now they're not speaking to me." Debbie, you got a lot to say about this. What do you think?
Well, first of all, it should be the parents reaching out and not assuming. That's the big word there. Assuming that, you know, the aunt, whoever, is going to take the other child on. It's a lot of work. You know, right now I'm watching my grandson, who's a toddler, and, you know, another child is a lot, you know, getting up and down at an older age even, you know. You can't assume. You just can't assume. You have to talk it through. And if they're getting upset, well, goodness gracious, you know, shame on them, because they have such a wonderful gift right there.
They really do.
Yeah,
they
time.
really do. You're right. And for you to help out like that and to be watching your grandbaby too, it's a big help. But also, if you have someone speaking up saying 2 kids is going to be too much for me, as a parent, I would think, don't want to hear that. Like, I appreciate you speaking up. If this is going to be
Right.
a lot, let's find someone that can be attentive, especially if you're talking about a newborn.
Right.
That's a
right,
lot.
Exactly.
That's a
and
lot.
I don't know how old the other child is, because, if you're talking a 4-year-old, it might be a little easier with an infant. But if it's a toddler,
Yeah.
I mean, you're running in one direction, baby crying in the other room,
Or if you have that older one, like the toddler or the 4-year-old, I want my attention. That's how our son Bones
Right.
was. What about me? What about me?
Right.
Just a minute. I got your sister here.
Well, Debbie, thank you for calling and
Yeah.
being a part of Text
Sure.
Roulette, hearing it from the perspective of the family member that's been watching the baby. But now let's wrap up here with Natalie. Natalie is a parent with a 6-year-old who has relatives watching the kids. So for anyone that is having family members watch your kids, maybe take some advice of what Natalie does to make sure that no one feels taken advantage of. Natalie, who watches your kids and what do you do to make sure that doesn't happen?
So I actually have my father-in-law and my grandma, and they're both retired. And I know that, as they get older that, they want to spend more time with him, but at the same time, it can be a little much. A 6-year-old has a lot of energy. So
Yeah. Oh, it keeps you young. I don't know about that. That's
right. So I actually always am asking them, like, hey, if this is ever too much for you, or if it's just like an inconvenience, or it's just like, I'm always asking them, like, if this is no longer working for you, like, just let me know.
And
I
what
will
is their
figure
answer
something out.
usually?
Like, their answer is almost always, oh, no, we love spending time with our grandson. Like, and that's almost always. And they have taken me up on that a few times. Like, hey, yeah, he took a lot out of us yesterday. I don't know if I can watch him tomorrow.
I need a nap.
But at least you're extending the olive branch. You're initiating the conversation
Yep.
so that if for some reason they felt like, well, we don't want to disappoint, we want to see our grandson or great grandson, at least you're leaving that door open to say, is this still working for you? And I think that's really important if you have the family members that are doing things and typically doing it for free to make sure no one is taken advantage of. Is between the two, who is the one that gets your son more riled up, that you're like, oh, and when he's with grandpa or he's with great grandma, like this is, it's going to be on now.
Oh, that's tricky. See, because great grandma takes him out to breakfast, so he loves that. But grandpa takes him outside to play in the dirt. So I think it's a pretty fair game for both of them.
Can I be babysat by your father-in-law and your grandma? Because that sounds awesome.
I love playing in the dirt too.